Wolfpack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Rose Street, RoseStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here. It's here. Not just me. Football is back, baby. Let's go. Week 1, Thursday night football. Dallas Cowboys. Probably going to get steamrolled by the Eagles, but let's go. I am pumped. We are at the outdoor bar because the baby is getting put to sleep right now, so I've been banished to outside, but what better way? I'll be watching the football back here, answering all of your sit starts that you've got. So lift those beers, have a swig with me. Cheers to week 1. We'll be previewing, of course, the game really quickly. Then we'll dive into, as the show title promises, one of the most important things you can do ahead of week 1 is double check those waiver wires and make sure there's no sleepers lingering. And if there are, a big move I always like to do is dropping my kicker. This week you have like Reichert on Monday night, Santos on Monday night. You got plenty of guys you can drop and sneak in some of these sleepers. So I got 5 pickups that you definitely want to check out if you have not already. And then, of course, it's on to all of your sit starts. It looks like the mailbag is already starting to fill up over there on YouTube, on Twitter. Start getting those questions in as well. We will go as far as we have questions. If that goes all the way to kickoff, it goes all the way to kickoff. But again, cheers. Welcome back. I am so excited to be here. And as we're going, guys, a quick thumbs up or heart button, retweets, shares, all that good stuff does help us get out to more people and would be so greatly appreciated. But let's quickly, while we're building the mailbag, while we're getting the audience going, let's just preview what I think is going to happen tonight. So we got Cowboys getting 8 points is the final line that I saw before going lives at the Eagles, over under 48. I'm going Eagles, even with that crazy amount of points here. I just think they absolutely destroy this defense. No Micah Parsons, obviously. Eagles at home, coming off the Super Bowl. They're out to prove there will be no rust. There will be no Super Bowl hangover. We are still here, and we are going to go back-to-back in their eyes. And I think the Eagles will go to 48 points. I do hammer that over, by the way, because I think the Eagles might put up 48 points on their lonesome. And I do think the Cowboys, they can kind of play garbage time, have a nice comeback, and certainly get this to at least over 48 points. But I think the Eagles win by at least 2 touchdowns tonight, steamrolling the Cowboys in the home opener. We shall see, though, how it goes. Let me know what you think, if you think I am crazy. In terms of who do I think is going to show up, I think there's no better way to show that off than a quick touchdown parlay. So I'm just going to quickly share my notes here and show you the parlay I tossed in here. Maybe you can tail me as well. I think Jalen Hurts, there was a happy hour boost. I don't know if you can still get it on DraftKings, but he had a plus 150 anytime touchdown score. Jake Ferguson was right around plus 270, Barkley minus 180, and George Pickens, probably my favorite of the pure odds, plus 230 as well. So I parlayed those 4 as touchdown scores, $5 to win, 267. Join me on that one if you're a betting folk. Let's go. I've had some good luck. That's the way I've tried to do it these days. Kind of your Keno when you match 4 numbers. I don't try to go too crazy with the touchdown parlays, but I pick a handful of obscure guys, a Jake Ferguson and whatnot. I had a few of those last year where it was like $10 to win 700. And so I'm going after it this year. I'll share with you guys each and every week my 4 touchdown scores of Thursday night, and we can all tail them. We can all cheers to them as well. That is my preview, though, of this game. Normally, I'll run down the injury report as well, but in week 1, it's just there's not a ton of news. The only thing that I will say for week 1 that is surprising at this point is Christian Kirk potentially out. He did not practice today, and so that can actually kind of segue into my waiver wire pickups. Jaylen Noel, very intriguing slot weapon there out of Iowa State. I kind of liked him just as much as Jaydon Higgins, despite the disparity in the draft capital. It sounds like he's going to be the natural fill-in there. So with Christian Kirk potentially out, you can add Jaylen Noel to this list. But let's dive in now to my 5 waiver wire pickups that you need to check out before week 1 hits, and then it's on to all of your questions the rest of the show. But 5 pickups. Check your week 1 waiver wires. Make sure none of these guys are lingering out there. Beginning with Chris Rodriguez here, folks. He is absolutely somebody you need to check out. He is on the website as well at RoseStreetJournal.com. Wrote an article about him. Let's dive into the opportunity that's staring right ahead of him. We know at this point that Brian Robinson is gone. That opens up 58.7% of the Commanders' backfield opportunities, 187 carries and 8 rushing touchdowns. A pretty healthy ground pie now being opened up. And which mouths are going to fill it? Well, of course, everybody and their great Aunt Gertrude loved Ja'Cory Krosky married Bill over there. And I do too. I would pick Bill before Rodriguez. I was picking him in like the 120s or so. He got chased up into the 100s. That was a little too rich for me because I do think Chris Rodriguez is really going to be impressive. This is going to be the 5th highest scoring offense according to Vegas. They were the 6th highest scoring offense last year at 28.8 points per game. And with Jayden Daniels, sophomore season, another year under his belt, I could see them finishing in the top 3 scorers this year. And ultimately, we've got Washington. They finished last year with the 10th ranked offensive line in 2024. Then they add Laramie Tunsil, the 4th ranked tackle. They draft a 1st-round tackle in Josh Connerly. This unit could definitely sniff the top 5 in line. So that's all the environment. I haven't even talked about Chris Rodriguez himself, but just painting the picture of what this pie is. That's why everyone loves Bill Krosky Merritt. But who's going to be the man getting the volume? It definitely could be Rodriguez. He's not flashy, but 220 pounds. This man is a bulldozer, 6 feet tall as well. At Kentucky, 20 games of 100-plus rushing yards. Set a record with that. Ranks 3rd all-time in Kentucky rushing yards as well. And you look at Lance Zierlein, thick frame, makes tacklers miss, makes people feel it when he hits. And then Dan Quinn taking all that and saying he would be perfect for the goal line role. Yes, I know Chris has that tackle breaking ability in small spaces. I would say he could be the front on the front taking place when asked if he would be their goal line hammer. And he looked great this preseason too. First game, rips off 6 carries, 62 yards, 10.3 yards attempts, 34 yards on another 5 carries. The next week, 96 yards on 11 attempts, looking very solid. And the athletic highlighting, he worked out all offseason on his physique, 235 pounds just a couple of years ago because of that high ankle sprain. He's now down to 222. He said he hit over 20 miles per hour on that 40-yard scamper this preseason. He said he's hit 20-plus miles per hour multiple times in camp, the most he's ever done. And he worked out the receiving coach this offseason as well. So I really, really like Chris Rodriguez, only 7% rostered, somebody to check out on your waiver wire. And you guys can feel free to ask me, should I drop player X for player Y as well, in addition to your sit starts tonight? Happy to answer any of those questions too. Isaac TeSlaa coming in at number 4, an athletic freak. Let's start with that. 214 pounds and a 4.43 40, flowing blonde hair, just streaking down the field. What more could you ask for? And he was the classic definition of forcing his way into the lineup with 10 catches, 154 yards, and 3 touchdowns across his 14 preseason targets. Played about a game and a half. A phenomenal stat line for the kid. They felt so comfortable with his performance, they traded away Tim Patrick. That is a ringing endorsement. He is a clubhouse leader, Tim Patrick, and they still felt okay moving him. So you have this athletic freak. You don't need me to spell out how explosive this offense is. I love Isaac TeSlaa as a potential waiver wire ad, but even more than him at wide receiver, I love Dont'e Thornton, my number 3 ad. And this was before Amari Cooper decided to retire out of the blue. I still love Thornton, and now the path is even clearer for this guy to be a potential target monster in the Raiders offense with Geno Smith. We're talking 6'5", 4.3 40. Insane. Only Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf are guys at 6'4" or higher and 4.35 or faster 40s. This is the definition of an athletic freak here. And ultimately, 3.72 yards per route run, top 3 in this class, 25.4 yards per catch, leading the nation. Definitely a deep threat. And the best part of that is Geno Smith is an elite deep ball thrower. Quarterback 3, 9, and 5, and deep ball completion percentage the last 3 seasons. Perfect mesh of skill set and QB. But don't just pinpoint this guy into just a deep role. He has a better route tree than that. We saw that back shoulder touchdown this preseason. We've seen the digs, the outs. That you have to really give this guy cushion, and he's really dominating in the intermediate and even the short game as well. So huge fan of Dont'e Thornton. If there was going to be a Puka Nacua or close to it this year, Thornton is my favorite bet to do that. My final 2 picks are both running backs, though. Ollie Gordon, 30% rostered right now. Go, please check how this guy, if he's out there for you. 3 straight games leading the Dolphins in preseason rushing, ultimately racked up 29 touches for 174 yards, compared to 19 touches and 19 yards for Jalen Wright, who is also now laid up with a procedure on his leg. Was not looking good anyways. Ollie Gordon was probably going to steal it from him, but now multiple weeks out for Jalen Wright. So the clear number 2 running back in a Dolphins run scheme that last year, sure, took a brutal hit, did not look nearly as effective. And this line still very questionable on paper. So I'm not fully over the moon with Ollie Gordon, but it was just 2 years ago. Mostert led the NFL with 18 rushing touchdowns, 21 total touchdowns. Both Mostert, he's the running back 3, and HN, running back 4, were top 5 in fantasy points per game. The McDaniels Shanahan-inspired zone scheme was looked at the next gold mine for running back value. And ultimately, Gordon has looked the part. This is a Doak Walker Award winner. In the most impressive rookie class to come out in maybe a decade, he was the best rookie rusher just 2 seasons ago. I know that interesting, weird, what happened his senior year, I'm not sure. But it was just 2 years ago that this guy hit 100 rushing yards in 8 of 9 games. He had 280 yards from scrimmage in 3 consecutive games. It was a ridiculous stretch run for this guy that year. Ultimately racked up Gordon 285 carries, 1,732 yards, and 21 touchdowns, in addition to 330 receiving yards and a touchdown. That crazy, crazy sophomore season. Don't know what happened this past year. The offense is a whole crater. The quarterback play was awful. He didn't look great himself, but so far with the Dolphins, he looks much closer to that 2 years ago prospect than what we've seen. So I love Ollie Gordon, hammering him in these late best ball drafts, adding him everywhere I can. He should not be on any waiver wires. This one especially goes out to tonight. You're my boy, Jaydon Blue. Somehow, some way, he's out there in 70% of leagues right now, and I think he's going to be the true league winner of 2025 fantasy. If you've watched any of my shows this offseason, you are already well aware of this. 4.38 speed at the combine, 4.25 speed at his pro day. Not a huge guy, 5'9", 198 pounds, but compared to, by their coach to a bigger Darren Sproles. I'll take that any day, while also adding Schottenheimer uncanny athleticism, acceleration, 3-down skill set, can do it all the ways. We saw in the preseason they hit this one jump cut, 13 yards, zips through the line, then ultimately barrels in for a touchdown the next play, giving him the big boy carries, and he converted. And now you're competing with Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. When asked about Javonte Williams, the coach said, wisdom is what he brings to the table. I'll take the guy getting called an uncanny 3-down athlete with ridiculous receiving ability, making highlight play after highlight play in camp and in the preseason action. He saw the bigger Darren Sproles, Jaydon Blue. It's only a matter of time that you're going to get diet Jahmyr Gibbs and an explosive Cowboys team that with that defense as bad as it is, give me the guy that is a speed demon that is known as one of the best receiving prospects in the backfield to come out. Love Jaydon Blue. There's no reason for this guy to be out there in 70% of leagues. Check right now before the game hits tonight, because I could see him ripping a big one tonight and everybody scrambling in week 1. Go get yourself Jaydon Blue if he is still out there. All righty, Wolfpack. That wraps up my top 5 pickups ahead of week 1. Let us now dive on in to the mailbag. Thank you again so much for being here. Droid, we'll catch our breath for a quick second. The first question in, let's do it. And we got about 250 of you here to start. Not bad, but we've had some of these Thursdays that get over 1,000 live viewers. Love to get more people in here. Consider hitting that thumbs up button, the likes, the shares, the retweets, all that stuff truly does help us grow so much. Droid saying, we are back. Let's go. Trying to have a two-peat this year. Let's do it. Having that belt in hand, Droid. Good stuff. Pick 2. Tet McMillan, Diggs, Shaheed, or JK. And pick 1 for DB. I'll admit I'm not even going to pick 1 for DB because, Droid, I don't play any IDP. Don't want to give you an answer straight from the rear end. But let's talk about these 2 receivers out of an intriguing 4 group here. I got to go with Tet McMillan, potentially the target hog here for the Carolina Panthers. That X receiver role that Dave Canales really schemes up to perfection. Looked the part this preseason, just barely missed a beautiful touchdown from Bryce Young, who also looked quite well, played quite well throughout this preseason too. So Tet McMillan, the clear lock for me. And I got to go with Diggs, not on the injury report, fully healthy, the target hog for my quarterback league winner of the season, Drake May. I love J.K. Dobbins getting the starting nod, but I still really do think R.J. Harvey is going to be the most featured back there. They could be bleeding clock. I have J.K. in my flex, him versus Mark Andrews. I'm trying to decide right now which one to go with, Droid. So I do love J.K. He's probably safer than Diggs, but I look at a Raiders secondary, very weak on paper. Shaheed, as intriguing as this guy is, especially in best ball, I don't want to trust the Saints offense in week 1 if I don't have to. Wouldn't shock me if Shaheed ends up being a clear-cut cog in a Kellen Moore offense with a high pace, could be a phenomenal play soon enough. But I think your other options are head and shoulders. So it does come down to McMillan, Diggs, or JK for me. Gun to my head, especially if it's full PPR, I'm going to go the two receivers, McMillan and Diggs. If it's half, I might plug in JK over Diggs. I don't know, though. I really think Diggs is just going to – it is how's those targets going to be distributed with the Pats? I'll go McMillan and JK in half or McMillan and Diggs in full is how I will answer that one, because I do love all three of those options there, Droid. Thank you for being back, and let's go get you that repeat. Campanelli, what's going on? My moderator, letting everybody know, please don't spam your questions. If you spam, you'll be tossing timeout. We won't answer their questions. And if you want to get to the front of the line, super chats are greatly appreciated. You'll get bumped right up. My man is looking for them. Certainly not necessary, but always very appreciated if you want to show your guys some love and get your question to the front so you can get in and out here tonight. Krana Shaw, great to see you. Welcome back, off-season legend. I haven't seen you much of the last years, but so happy to see you here for the Thursday Night Football kickoff. Bears will be in the playoffs. I don't know how hot that take is. I know it's a very tough division, Krana, but everybody does believe in Ben Johnson, myself included. I don't believe in Caleb Williams, though. I'll be the first one to admit it. Not my guy, not my quarterback. So I do think you guys might be a year away, and it would be horrible for your franchise if it's not Caleb Williams. Wouldn't shock me, though, if you're looking for a new quarterback in the near future. But if not, if Caleb Williams hits, Ben Johnson is the guy. I'll tell you that. Krana asking me to pick two. Henderson, Pollard, Swift, Mason. Whew, great options here, especially in the full PPR. I got to go. Man, I'm going to cut Mason. I don't think he's really in this conversation. I like Mason, don't get me wrong, but you've got three great options. I really have to roll out Henderson in week one. So explosive. That makes that really tough between, especially as a PPR league too. I think Henderson could have 8 catches right off the jump. We know how Josh McDaniels loves to feed those running backs in the passing game. And so ultimately, there's AJ Brown. Love to see it. I was like, who is that guy? Oh, AJ. Pollard versus Swift, very tricky question, especially with Pollard getting the Broncos. Tough defense, maybe gets game flowed out. I think I'm leaning Swift very slightly. Definitely has a little bit more of a pass-catching ceiling too. And we know Roshan Johnson not practicing right now. Manungai also questionable. Who else is Swift competing with? So true featured back role for Swift. Has the pass-catching skill set. Like that game to potentially open up with some points there, Vikings. And you have the Monday night hope factor there, Krana. You're never quite out of it. I mean, if you're down by 30 and you're asking for Swift to get 30, sure, you might be out of it. But even at 20 or so, Swift could erupt. We know how much Ben Johnson's backs rack up the points. So I'm going to go Henderson and Swift there. And for the defense, I like the Jets this week. I think Rodgers is a bag of trash, and I think the Steelers' offense is going to be hideous. If you didn't want to go them, though, the Vikings are a very smooth and safe option as well. Murray or May, 6 points. May for me. May Day, let's go, baby. I think Kyler's trash. I've never been a Kyler guy. Sometimes he does blow up short in fantasy, and maybe he does against the Saints. The matchup's pretty ripe on paper. I think May, especially with the Pats' defense a little banged up, if Christian Gonzalez doesn't play, I could see May having to chase some points against this Raiders team. So I'm going to go Drake May. And then for the wide receivers, intriguing offense. I guess not just receivers, because you got Harvey in this question as well. Full PPR, Ridley, Egbuka, Harvey, MHJ, Monty. This might shock some people, but Egbuka is actually my favorite of this list. Really no one else other than Mike Evans. Cade Otton might even not play this week. And we know how valuable that Chris Godwin slot role is. I think Egbuka, everybody has seen the hype from everyone. Baker, the head coaches, talking about how professional this guy is, how impressive he is, the way he approaches this game. I am loving Emeka Egbuka. He is my favorite of this one. And then I will go into these other options. Very tricky here. I might go. I'm not a Marvin Harrison guy in general this season, but against the Saints, banged up secondary. That way you can see what Harvey does. I like Monty, probably to get into the end zone against the Green Bay Packers as well. But I think Ridley I love Ridley for the season, but against the Denver Broncos there, they already had Pat Surtain. They added first-round corner. I think that secondary is going to be complete lockdown all season. So I'm going to fade Ridley this week. Definitely locking in Egbuka. And I think I'm going to go, because of that full PPR, the talks of MHJ and Murray having that better chemistry, I'm going to go MHJ begrudgingly. I think we need a little time to see what Harvey's going to do. And Monty's one of those guys, like if he does not score that touchdown, then he's not really doing much for you at all. And thank you, Campanelli. Private chatting me here. Letting me know that Jaydon Blue is inactive tonight. Disappointing. Would have loved to see what he could have done tonight. Going to have to switch up some of my DraftKings showdown teams as we're on the fly here. Very disappointing, honestly. Maybe they're giving him another week to heal up fully. Still love this guy as a sleeper. If somebody drops him because of him being a healthy scratch tonight, go and scoop him now. But it does suggest maybe he is not quite as far along as we expect. So Jaydon Blue inactive tonight in case you were going to use him in your DraftKings showdowns or anything of that nature. I know no one was starting him tonight. A little discouraging start to the season. Would have loved to see him active. We'll watch Javonte just kind of take a dump all over the field, and we will soon get Jaydon Blue in there for sure. Krana asking another one. Thank you, Krana, for always filling up the mailbag. Greatly appreciate T-Mac or Sutton, full PPR. I'm going Sutton. I think Sutton, we saw it in just that two drives total of the preseason. He goes 7 of the 11 targets, or 7 of the 14 targets, rather, the entire offense. No other receiver top 2 in that game. Hauled in 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Fourth down, converting this difficult back shoulder catch. Then he gets the end zone look, scores the touchdown. Sutton, target hog for an ascending Bo Nix. Oh, yeah, all day. So I like Sutton there as much as I do like T-Mac, too. Let's wait on the rookie if we have a good veteran option like Sutton, who you know is going to get it done right there. Loveland, Ingram, or Goddard. I got to go. So if you're starting Sutton, how many of these guys do I want to load up on? I might go Loveland there. Give yourself the Monday night hope factor. I love that rookie you got, Krana. Give yourself the Bears to root for as well. I know your hometown team. I might have Ingram like a spot higher in the rankings, but if I'm starting Sutton already, I like Loveland a ton. Maybe that pushes him over the edge for me. And then 2. Lamb, he's on many of my leagues. Lamb's going to go off. They're going to be chasing points all night, I think, and I imagine that Lamb will go bananas. I really like here Pickens and Pearsall. I really like them all. And I think Judy against the Bengals, they're going to need points like that. Golden, the Golden Boy, a huge fan of him this year. I think they're going to need points against Detroit. But Pearsall, to me, looks like the clear engine of the 49ers attack. And then you got some Pickens to root for tonight. Now, if you do have Lamb already in this lineup, maybe I do pivot and go to the Golden Boy, right, to spread your bets just a little bit. But if not, I love Pickens. He's going to erupt. CJ wrote a great article on him. If you want a little more convincing on him, Krana, go over to rotostreetjournal.com. Great article right there for you on him. But I'm going to go Pickens, Pearsall, and Loveland for your situation. What's your go-to week 1 food to celebrate the season? Mine is pigs in a blanket. Love pigs in a blanket, Campanelli. Great choice. One of the most Hillary has a friend that makes these homemade pigs in a blanket that are just incredible. Huge fan of those. I'm going to have to make some this weekend now. We're actually hosting my family over for the 1 o'clock game, so that gives me some ideas. We're going to Hillary's making some chicken parm sliders that are out of this world. Phenomenal stuff. I want to make some wings in the air fryer. I can't do football without wings on that first week. That would probably be my go-to, getting some wings in me. Maybe fire up the smoker for some ribs. Probably not this week, back to school. A lot of work goes into those ribs to make them good. But certainly got to have a slate of wings in there. Love some sliders. Love some pigs in the blanket. All that football food's the best for sure. And, of course, some chips and queso. Come on, let's go. Get a real shred. Of course, we're ready for some football, Campanelli. Let's go. All righty. Run Jim. Dak or Trevor Lawrence? I'm going Dak. And I think they're going to get steamrolled. But that doesn't matter for fantasy. In fact, you almost want that because Dak is going to have to be chucking it all night to catch up. You got CD, you got Pickens. How can you not roll out Dak with that? And I do love Trevor Lawrence's matchup against Carolina. Don't get me wrong, Run Jim. But I'm firing up Dak there. Let's go. All righty, folks. We're about 23 minutes in, 7 o'clock. We're going to go up to kickoff if that's how long it takes to answer all these questions. 400 of you here. Please do consider hitting that thumbs up button for your boy as you fill up the mailbag. And, of course, a super chat will get you vaulted up and support your guy. Not necessary by any means. So happy to have you that freeway, though. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the like button. Hit the retweet. Help us grow and get out to more people. Let's go, Chris T. Good to see you. Goff or Purdy? That's a good one. Part of me is leaning. I got to double check because Goff does have some crazy, crazy home road splits. And I believe that one is in Lambeau this week, if I'm not mistaken, Chris T. And you got Seattle, who Purdy just always bombs. I am going to go as much. I do love that game to shoot out potentially the Lions versus the Packers. But ultimately, I'm going to go Purdy at Seattle. Feels nice and safe. I think they're going to light it up there. Goff splits on the road really do worry me a little bit here when you have two great options. I'm going to go with Purdy on that one, Christy. Hollywood or ETN half PPR? I mean, TN, is there a neither answer? I don't like either of these guys. If I had to pick one, you got no Rashee Rice in there. I do think Hollywood could be okay. But I'd love to know, I'd rather start Chris Rodriguez, honestly, as weird as that is. Dante Thornton, for sure, I would rather have in my lineup this week, especially if Christian Gonzalez doesn't play. I don't really like either of these guys. I think if I had to pick one, it would be Hollywood against the Chargers. You get Friday night juice. You got no Rashee Rice. Something there. But I like Dante Thornton more than either of these guys, TN. So I'll just toss him out there for sure. Garrett Wilson or Jalen Waddle for my flex rushing yard. And you're awesome. You're awesome. Great to see you. This is what my favorites, because I know some of the people are more here for in-season versus preseason. Some people are more preseason than in-season. So you start to see these people come out of the weeds. Rushing yard, you've been here however many years. So great to see you. I love to see all the old faces that I haven't seen in a while. It's a tough one because Garrett Wilson is facing the Steelers. I'm very, very worried about Justin Fields. I know that DJ Moore had a big season with Fields as quarterback. He looked god-awful this preseason. It just did not look like he belonged on an NFL field. It's the preseason. They're saying these last few weeks he's really started to warm up, and you're seeing what they expected to see. Man. Waddle gets the Colts a nice, easy matchup there. I think, gun to my head, I'm going to go Waddle in this case. I'm a little lower on both these guys, though, this year. I think I'm going to go Waddle, though, for the matchup. Maybe, I'd love to see Fields come out lighted up with Wilson, the OSU connection. You got the revenge game factor, too. I keep going back and forth with these guys. I try not to peek at my rankings too much during the show because I want to come off the gut. I had Wilson like a spot or two higher than Waddle. Yeah, and you probably invested some decent capital in him. So, gun to my head. But I think I see Waddle breaking free for a big play. I'm probably going to bump him up the rankings. We'll go Waddle on this one. Rishi J, start 2 of 3 in half PPR. JMO, Trevion Henderson, and Aaron Jones. Big fan. Thank you so much, Rishi, for the kind words. And I got to go with, 3 explosive players. I want to see the clear-cut 2 most explosive. That'd be an insult to Aaron Jones, who's second all-time in career yards per carry. This guy's an animal. That being said, though, I am obsessed with Trevion and JMO. I think they are 2 of the best picks you can make in 2025 fantasy. And so I'm going to go with them. I think Aaron Jones already had a capped touchdown ceiling, and now you add in Jordan Mason. I got to go with those 2 explosive players, the youngsters there, Rashid J. Caleb Johnson or Etienne STN Nguyen. I hate to do this to you, Etienne. Not a huge fan of these questions you're asking here because I don't like Etienne very much. I like Caleb Johnson maybe down the stretch. Not a huge fan of him. Ultimately, I think it's going to take him some time. They already talked about Jaylen Warren being the, quote, featured runner. That's a little concerning for Caleb Johnson. I wonder how much of a role he has in week 1, especially because he was playing behind Kenny Gainwell this preseason. So if I have to pick one of these guys, it is Etienne. But again, is Chris Rodriguez out there? Is Ollie Gordon out there? There's other guys that I would play over either of them. Next time you're in Chicago, Wolf, let me know. Pizza on me. One of Hillary's best friends lives in Chicago. She just had a baby. We just had a baby. We're hoping to meet them soon. So, Krana, I'll have to take you up on that. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to have pizza and a beer with you. That would be an absolute blast. Great time. Some people hate on the deep dish pizza. I love it. I feel horrendous after eating it. I want to go and roll up in a corner and just release my bowels all day. But, man, it feels good when I eat it. Some people just don't like it. I'm a huge fan myself. Chris T, 12-team PPR. Wants me to grade at half per carry. Interesting. Nix, Henry, Jacobs, JSN. I like that you leaned into the running backs. I'll tell you that. And a half carry. Absolutely like that. I like this team a lot. Andrews and Kenneth Walker. Wow. Nice cap off there. I love it. I love this team. And I don't say, if you watch the show, I'll bash teams when I don't like them. I'm not the biggest JSN guy. I will admit that. But I've started to come around to him. Sam Darnold and him showing this great rapport apparently all preseason. Is Cooper Kupp really any good? At this point, if the Rams paid like $22 million to not have him on the team, probably not that good. I love your running backs. Henry, Jacobs, Walker, Beasley, huge Sutton fan, Andrews is solid at tight end, especially while Likely's out. So I like it a lot, Chris T. I'd give it like a firm A-. And that's, I don't give A's very easy. Robert, what's up? Another season's here. Would you play Pacheco, Pearsall, or Myers? Great to see you, Robert. Another one of those regulars in the season. I love seeing people come out of the weeds. Great to see you, Robert. I got to go with full PPR. I'm going Pearsall here. I do really like Pacheco, but wouldn't shock me at all if we just get like a classic four-headed nightmare tomorrow. I think he's going to score a touchdown tomorrow. When I do my Friday parlay for 4 touchdown scores, Pacheco will be in there. But I love Pearsall, especially in full PPR. I really think I could see a 7-8 catch day. I think Kittle's really going to be the main engine there, but Pearsall will play a nice supporting role. So, Robert, I'm going to go Pearsall for that one. My other league, pick 12. I give you 1 grade, Christy. We have a lot of questions to answer, but love you, man. Thank you again for being here. What's going on, Matthew? Best draft guide yet. Thank you, sir. Definitely put the most time into this one. A lot of great support for it. I don't remember what the final numbers were, but it's certainly the best sales year we've ever had despite the price jump. So, Matthew Murray, thank you so much for your support. He's asking Adunze versus Keon for wide receiver 3. I'm going Adunze. That preseason game where they rolled out the starters against the Chiefs for about a quarter, Adunze was racking the targets up, and I know I had him as a fade early in the guide. I changed that take in the update log. I know you follow everything, Murray. I saw that preseason game. I love the prospect of Adunze. Then I saw last year as a rookie. I was like, is this guy really that good? Is Caleb really that good? Question's still out on Caleb. No doubt about that for me. But Adunze in that preseason game, all this talk about training camp. He's the clear one. He's the number one guy. I didn't buy it, and then I saw it with my eyes. He had, 5 targets and 3 drives, or rather 7 targets, 5 catches, 70 yards, a score. It was really that score, too, where they converted like a 3rd and 12 with this beautiful route to him, and then they rushed to the line, and they threw him a fade ball right after, and boom, he's in the end zone. I was like, yeah, let's go. Minnesota also gave up the most points to wide receivers last year. I don't rifle off too many of those stats right now just because it's a new year and everything's going to be different. But ultimately, I think he's in a better spot. I like Keon. I know you're super high on the guy. That's going to be a fun game, too, with a lot of points. But ultimately, to me, Keon's a much bigger question mark. I really think Adunze is the one you want to go with in this case. And thank you again, Murray, for the support of the guide. Papa Sarno kicking off the super chats. Thank you so much for your generosity. Championship runtime, baby. Let's go. That's what we do here. We bring the titles. That's why I love seeing all the names that keep popping back telling me we're going for the 2-peat. Let's do it. Need half PPR, need 2 receivers and a flex. We got Worthy, DJ Moore, Pickens, Hall, and Montgomery. Some very, very intriguing options here. Papa Sarno. Let's dive on into it. I got to go Worthy. No Rashee Rice these first 6 weeks. I think they're really going to explore how much can we add to this guy's plate. We saw it over the last 7 games of the season when you include the playoffs. 6 of those were 19 or more points. This guy really started to evolve. I do want to see more deep ball chemistry with him and Mahomes. But ultimately, I'm very intrigued, especially if they add a little more screens and dink and dunk and some of that layup stuff that Rashee Rice got would be amazing for him. Gets tricky from there because I love Pickens. I'm going to roll him out tonight. You got to play Pickens tonight. Give yourself some Thursday night football juice with them chasing points, trying to come back tonight. I really like Pickens there. And then it's just like, oh, man, I like all 3 of these options a lot, but which one rises to the top? I think I go Breece Hall, and I'm down on Breece Hall this week in my rankings. I think I'm -6 or so ECR, but still plenty of receiving upside in a half PPR league, despite that toughish matchup. I don't know, though. I really do think like David Montgomery gets into the end zone this week as well at Green Bay. And DJ Moore worries me because I do think Rome Odunze, as we were just talking about, is that true number 1. He gets pouty on the sideline, and then suddenly I also am intrigued on how much he landed up in the backfield. They moved him around. What if he is there, Amon-Ra? There is upside there to DJ Moore in a game where they probably will need some points. So a lot of great options here. I'm definitely locking in Worthy, Pickens. The next one of those 3 is very tough for me. Hall worries me, though, with Braylon Allen, too, how involved he was. Let's go. I'm going David Montgomery for the touchdown, Sarno, but that's a very tough call between those last 3. Let me know who you end up going, what you decide. I would greatly, I'd love to keep on top of it. We'll be in touch, I'm sure, on Sunday morning. I'll be live again for those of you that are enjoying the show, live again at 8 a.m. this weekend, Sunday, 8 a.m. show. Love that one. One of my favorites. We typically get a couple thousand in, tons of questions. Cannot wait for that. None of your biz. Take a quick pause, take a beer sip, and then we'll keep rolling. This beer's taking me a little too long, too, huh? Half PPR, start one flex. Golden or Ricky P. Love them both, none of your biz. I'm a little worried because I keep saying Ricky P, and I'd hate to see like a 3-catch, 20-yard day from the guy, but I'm just so high on Purdy raving about them getting their chemistry down. The way that Pearsall started to respect the routes more, not freelance as much, and that really allowed them playing within the system. Big fan of that. I'm liking Ricky P against Seattle there. For fantasy for TKG, Evan Ingram or Ferg, I'm going Evan Ingram. Little worried about that, 50% snap share from the preseason. Still, though, Sean Payton's Joker role, a lot of upside there. I do like Ferg in a game where they're chasing points. He was in my touchdown parlay bet tonight. I'm going Ingram, though, there, TKG, myself. Brandon Tully, yo, what's up? Flex full PPR, DJ Moore or Ibuka. I'm going Ibuka. I am plus 10 ECR on Ibuka. I am sky high on the guy, really all season, but especially in week 1 with a great matchup against the Falcons. That's going to be a fun one. I mean, I'm talking 55 to 60 total points between those two teams. I'm in there. Heard he was lazy in camp. It was going to be low on the depth chart. So that's Jaydon Blue. He's asking about. He was a healthy scratch tonight. That does worry me. I did see the lazy report. That was more OTAs, and it seemed pretty unfounded because right afterwards when camp opened, Schottenheimer raved about how professional he was. I seemed to take a jab at that reporter who was making those comments. It's probably going to take a little while. Certainly, if he's healthy scratch on week 1, that's not ideal. I think that's what we're kind of. That's the returning starters. I'm a little worried about. Sure, he's low to start the year on the depth chart, but let's be real. Who's on this depth chart? Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. We'll see tonight. I mean, maybe Javonte shocks the world and looks way better than anyone expects. Kind of like a J.K. Dobbins next year. Is that in the range of possibility? It is. It could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? No. not in the least. So I'm not worried about him eventually going up there. Just turn the lights on over there. Keep us bright over here. We already got that one. TKG. Drop Najee Harris for Rodriguez. Eric E. I think I would. Call me crazy. I think this is absolutely going to be ultimately the O'Marion Hampton show there for the Chargers. So yes, I would. Hey, thank you for reposting the stream, Espatrain. Much appreciated. Anybody else out there willing to share it out? Hit the thumbs up, hit the heart. It really does help us get out to more people and is so appreciated. Should I start Rome Odunze, Stephon Diggs, or Jerome Ford? Intriguing, Espatron, that Ford's actually in this conversation. He deserves to be. Facing a Bengals team that is not going to be able to stop anybody through the air or on the ground. Plus, if it does get game flowed, Ford's a great receiving back too. So he has a ton of upside this week. I'm going Rome Odunze, though. I really think he is the true number 1 wide receiver there for the Bears. I think that's going to be his coming out party in week 1. So I am a very big fan there. Please, TKG, stop repeating that. I would play Tyreek over Kupp, but please don't keep repeating your questions. And Christy, yep, we just hit that one. Thank you for reminding the chat as well. Payday Fool, good afternoon to you as well. 500 of you here. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much. A great week 1 showing. J-Mo or Hampton? Got to go Hampton there. Starting over Najee Harris. So impressive throughout camp. Najee still getting his legs under him. I love it. It is a tough Chiefs run deep. They had the fewest points to running backs last year, but I'm still going Hampton. So explosive. Etienne, Pittman, or Stevenson. Half PPR for Etienne. I don't know if you bought the guy this year because you have a lot of the guys I am not in on. And I maybe you're right. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, Etienne, because you always end up crushing it every season. Not Etienne for me. I guess Pittman. I do think Stevenson will be involved, especially early in the season. Maybe he falls in the end zone, but if he doesn't score for you, I'm worried that Henderson's really going to be the show there. So I got to go Pittman there. Don't love any of them, though. What's up, Giuseppe? It is indeed here. Week 1. Let us go. Do I go Jake, Ferg, Loveland, or Strange? I'm going to go Loveland for that one, Giuseppe. A lot of hype for Strange these days. Intrigued to see Jake Ferg go tonight, but I'm going Loveland. Now, I do like Jake Ferg's 275 plus for a touchdown tonight, but I'm going to go Loveland. I think he is just an absolute animal, and we're going to see a Sam Laporta, like a juiced-up Sam Laporta in Ben Johnson's offense. Yeah, I'm in for that. Eric, what's going on? Dak or Trevor? Going Dak. I've gotten that one actually twice now. Going for Dak in this one, though. Think they're going to be chasing points all night. I like Trevor's matchup. I think that game could be a sneaky fun shootout, but I like Dak. Those weapons, CD and Pickens, come on. John Lazare, what's going on? Johnu, Chig, or Strange? I like Strange there. I think that's going to be a fun one against Carolina. A lot of potential points going on the board there. So give me him for sure. And then we are at Jaydon Blue, got announced and active. Thank you, Espetrine, helping out the chat. Good to know. TKG doesn't change my answer, though. Sergey B, what's going on? I don't know if this is Sergey from North Andover over there, the Fantasy Football Club. Let me know if it is Sergey. Great to see you if so. The club lived on. We had our draft on Wednesday, so the legacy you leave behind. It might not even be you. You might be like, this Sergey's probably like, what is he even talking about? I'm a teacher and do a fantasy football club at school, and if it is Sergey, he was a clear legend in there. I believe your last name started with a B too, so I'm thinking it's Sergey, but it might not be. In full PPR, do I start Rome Odunze, Diggs, or Jerome Ford? I think you just asked that one. So you're Espetron right there. So, yeah, so I think I answered that one already for you, Sergey. I'm pretty sure that is the Sergey that I'm thinking of. So if it is Sergey, great to see you, brother. You're the man. And like I said, I think Odunze shows his coming out party here as the clear number one here. We did get a super chat from Harry Taylor. Thank you so much, Harry. Great to see you again, sir. Full PPR. One running back and flex Warren, Odunze, Harvey, or Dobbins. All righty, so the running back options, the one thing, so Harry, let me know, I don't know if Warren is Tyler or Jalen Warren. That's going to be a new distinction there. I will say for the flex, Odunze is my favorite option. And then if it is just Harvey or Dobbins, week one, I'm still going to go Harvey. More explosive, freak athlete, and I think they steamroll this Tennessee team, giving them the perfect opportunity. Let's see what we got in Harvey in the second half of the game. Dobbins gets his touchdown early. Probably going to have a good game himself too. But I think Harvey, in a game where they're up, they can kind of see what the rookie does against NFL competition. I think they force feed him. And so even if it is Jalen Warren, you can let me know which Warren it is, but it's not going to change my answer. Dunze is going to be the flex. And then I think it's Harvey there for your running back spot as well. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. Is that the backyard discovery? Yeah, Payday Fool. It is exactly what it is. I got it from Sam's Club this year. Built it with my pops when I was off on paternity leave. So good. I love the setup. It's sturdy. It's nice. You get the TV hung up. Beautiful setup. Good eye there. Keen eye there, Payday Fool. Pretty fun to build, too. It took us about a day, but really fun day building it. So, yeah, you caught good eyes there, Payday Fool. Cheers to week one, folks. Go with a little Sun Cruiser for number 2, huh? Giuseppe Russo. Who should I drop for Darren Waller? Why? Why are we dropping any of them for Darren Waller? None. Answer is 0. Also, why do we have 3 tight ends, though, Giuseppe? Because you go back, rewind the show. I gave you 5 potential stashes for tonight. Jaydon Blue, Ollie Gordon, Chris Rodriguez, Dante Thornton, probably the top of that list now, and Isaac TeSlaa. If I'm dropping one of these tight ends, it's probably Strange. It's not to pick up a third tight end again. No need to pick up Darren Waller. Come on. I'm in a dynasty league. Should I trade JCM for Pacheco? Yeah, I would do that for sure. And then we had another super chat. Hold on. Let me get on down to that. Sergey, very generous of you, sir. You didn't need to do that. Great to see you, though. Ask your question as many times as you can. Sergey, I'm good to know it's Espetrine. Shoot me a DM on Twitter as well so we stay in touch. The club was so fun. You're the best. You're such a nice kid, Sergey. You were always so kind to everybody that you knew. And you're so kind to me, clearly, with the super chat. You didn't need to do that, brother, but thank you so much. I thought I recognized that, especially when you said Espetrine. I was like, oh, yeah, that's his last name. We had so much fun, though. Those club days were great. The club is living on. We still have, like, Sid, Nico, some of the legends that you used to draft against. My brother won it last year. Horrific. So it's going to be a fun time. But thank you, Sergey, so much for your generous super chat. I'm glad you used the guide. I hope you crush it. Definitely stay in touch over on Twitter. Shoot me a DM. Keep me posted how the season's going. That's very kind of you, Sergey. Hopefully we'll see you throughout the season, too, on the sit starts. But thank you so much, and great to hear from you. How are you doing, by the way? Shoot me a DM. Let me know how everything's going, what you're up to these days. Are you at school? Were you working? What do we got going on, Sergey? Would love to know what you're up to these days. Good stuff. Good stuff for a former student Love it, man. Thank you again for tuning in, and great to hear from you for sure. Payday Fool, though, yes, I would do Pacheco over JCM. Pacheco's still young. JCM, his best case scenario is like he becomes the next Pacheco, a 7th-round guy that ends up blown out. Why not take the guy that's actually it already? So, yes, I'd go Pacheco over JCM. Giuseppe Russo, better tight end add Otten or Waller? Again, what's the obsession with 3 tight ends, Giuseppe? I don't get it. I don't understand it. No need to have 3. I would be adding any of those 5 waiver wire guys I listed off for you. Tyler Warren or Rome Odunze for the half. I'm going Rome there, Destro, NJ. A lot of Rome Odunze love tonight, but I do think he's going to be that true, clear number 1 for this team. Oh, CD Lamb. Gotta love that guy. My goodness. I'm going to go Rome Odunze. Most points allowed to wide receivers last year to the Minnesota Vikings. As good as they are, lots of blitzes, and it ends up opening a lot of opportunities for big plays for wide receivers. I think Rome can do it. Have Kittle on the roster, stick with Pearsall. That is a lot of overload. I do think Seattle's defense is going to be pretty bad this year, so I'm not opposed to it. But with that info, maybe I do switch it up. It gives you some action tomorrow night, Robert, which I know is not why we make our decisions, but it's going to be extra fun when Pacheco pounds one in tomorrow. So, yeah, I think I do switch that up if you already have Kittle going because you have the main vein of the passing attack already. Krana, Javonte, Mason, Cup, or Golden? I got to go the Golden Boy, baby. I love Matthew Golden. I think he's going to be an absolute beast this year. What up at QB, CJ or TeSlaa for TKG? I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence there. Not a huge CJ Stroud guy this season. I love the Liam Cohen offense. I love this matchup, too, for week 1 against the Carolina Panthers. Now, granted, I have TeSlaa like quarterback 17, and somehow I'm -7 he's here. I like him this week. How is he ranked as the quarterback 10? Like, Trevor Lawrence really hasn't proven anything. I don't think he's that good as a player, but I do love the matchup this week. I don't really like Stroud. I think that Rams defense is a little more worrisome than the Panthers. So, yeah, I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence there. So, Harry's saying Jaylen Warren. Doesn't change anything for me. I'm still going RJ Harvey there. Despite the nice praise, though, that he was going to be the featured back, probably the safest option is Warren. I still think the upside of Harvey is that. And thank you again so much, Sergey. Great to hear from you again, and thank you so much for that. Wolf, your boy Blues inactive. I know PH Clap Patio. What's going on, man? I know. Very disappointed in that. Still not cutting him. Still absolutely holding on. Because we can go watch tonight Javonte and Miles Sanders just take absolute dumps on the field. And then by next week, we'll have Blue. I wonder if the heel's still not fully back together. They're giving him a week. And again, we're just going to watch them get absolutely smoked. I don't know what's going on the TV behind yeah, but that's interesting stuff. Hey, shout out North Andover. Let's go, Payday Fool. Yep, I teach in North Andover. I live in Beverly, Mass, but teach over at North Andover High. That's awesome. You went to Merrimack College. Sweet. Good stuff. Charlie Kelly, a Merrimack alum over there. Played baseball at Merrimack, if you like Always Sunny there. Zach Nanaboo. Give up Thornton and Aaron Jones for Pollard. I love Thornton. I really do. I still make this deal. I really think Pollard, you got Tajay Spears banged up for at least the first 4 weeks. Aaron Jones, I'm not very into. As much as I like Thornton, like we can't pretend he's a guarantee to be an absolute smash. I think he will be. Really big fan of him. But, I'd give that up. I'd get Pollard there. Tunes, 1 running back, 1 flex, full PPR. Jacobs, Connor, Pickens, Myers. You got to have Jacobs in there. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And then, Pickens versus Connor is a very tough call. I think I texted you Pickens. But Connor, when Connor's healthy, I mean, you're talking about top 10 running back nearly every single week. So, Saints, nothing scary about that defense. They could get up big and bleed clock with Connor late. They're talking about it being more of a committee. I believe it when I see it. They love that. I think they're just going to keep riding them. So I'm going to go Jacobs and Connor for that one. I cue the Pickens 130 touchdown night, but I like the 2 running backs there. Would you start Dak over Drake? I believe I have Drake rated higher this week, and I'm starting to get a little queasy about that. Where do I have Dak quarterback say? I got to change that. So that's one ranking update I'm going to make. I have Dak too low. Just because I really do think they're going to get steamrolled, but then Dak's going to be playing catch-up X-Picky. I still go Drake May this week? I do. But I just checked. I was like, Dak's looking too low. I know I said a couple people to go Dak over certain guys like Trevor Lawrence for sure. I'm going to bump Dak up to quarterback 11. I do really like Dak this week playing catch up. So I'm going to publish that as well just to make sure that gets through. Thank you guys for your patience. I was surprised. I took a quick peek and he was too low. I do need to get Jaydon Blue out of my rankings as well. Because I think I was like plus 10 ECR on him. So he is out tonight. Very disappointing, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Would have loved to see him rip it up tonight. But just gives us a chance to watch the other two running backs just completely take dumps on the field. There we go. All right, that's in. Rankings are corrected. Thank you guys again for those of you that commented in to help your boy out with that. All righty. And we are on to Lily White. Oh, we got yeah. So, and thank you, Campanelli, the moderator, be like, hey, you have a Dak at 9, Drake at 9 and Dak at 16. I just bumped Dak to my quarterback 11, so I still have Drake higher. But I do have Dak a little bit pumped up as well. Oh, sorry, Lily. I didn't mean to skip your question. Who would you flex? Igbuka, Dunze, or Hunter? Now we're talking. Whew, 3 of my favorite guys this year. I think I got to go with Igbuka this week. I am so in on that game. I'm so in on him. The volume, the target hog upside. I love it. So give me Igbuka with that one. So to help me out, you said TeSlaa, Ingram, and Tyreek. I believe so. Yes, TKG. You're my guy, Patio. Let's go, baby. Drop Rachaad White for R. Johnson. I don't think R. Johnson's even playing. Or rather on Monday night. I don't really like any of them. But Tunes, is Chris Rodriguez there? Is Dante Thornton there? Is Ollie Gordon there? Probably not. Is Jaydon Blue there? Probably not. But Thornton, you got, again, Thornton, TeSlaa, Rodriguez, any of those guys, I'd drop Rachaad White for, yes, for sure. Will G. Massey back in the house. My man, the Truth's boy. The Truth will be on these Thursday night streams. I should have said this from the jump, but my guy that I normally rip these streams with me, he had his parent-teacher night where he had to bring Dante, his son, too. So, unfortunately, no Truth tonight, but ultimately he will be on these streams. And I know I have parent-teacher night coming up, not next week, but the week after. There won't be a Thursday stream. But Will, what's going on? Tanked my auction draft last night, but who should I start at running back? Pollard, Harvey, or Tracy? Thinking Tracy. That doesn't sound like you completely tanked by any means, in my opinion. If you have those 3 running backs, all fairly solid running back twos, I can see why it's a tough decision, though. They're all kind of in that same tier for me. I think I would probably go Harvey myself. I just think they're going to be tearing down. But Pollard is like Denver. If you're going to move the ball in Denver, it's going to be through the run game. And there's no Tajay Spears. So Pollard's going to get every touch he can handle. So I think Pollard's the safest option. I would probably rank them the exact way you type them. Pollard, Harvey, then Tracy. With Harvey being the highest upside play, if the Broncos are up huge and they're just, let's get our rookie and let's see what he can do, I could definitely see that. But I think Pollard is going to be very, very involved. And so I'm going to go Pollard there. And he's got a good bet at a touchdown too. So let's roll with that. Would you trade Barkley for Hendy? This must be dynasty because otherwise it's a clear-cut no. And even still, unless you're in like a massive rebuild, I still wouldn't do it. And in redraft, there's literally no way this question's even getting asked. But no, I would not trade Barkley for Hendy. And I think any setting. You're welcome, Bicky, for sure. Thanks for getting in, helping getting ready for week 1. Let's go. Absolutely, TKG. Thank you for being here, for asking questions. And we got 575 of you. Love to see it. Thank you so much for a great week 1 sit start show. Hit that thumbs up button, the heart, the shares, the retweets, all that good stuff. Looks like we are getting close to the last of the mailbag. So, Rum, I'll answer your question. Blue droppable? Absolutely not. I know he's a healthy scratch. We're going to watch these 2 running backs absolutely suck all night. And then ultimately, we're going to have Blue come in next week, clean up this mess, and be a stud. So, no, I am not dropping him yet. Start Thornton or Gordon in the flex. Ollie Gordon. I was like, Melvin Gordon. He's been gone a while, Mohammed. I'm going to go with Thornton there. I think the big play upside is, of course, if Achane's out, it's a no-brainer, Mohammed, right? You're putting Gordon in. If he's going to be limited, you're putting Gordon in. If Achane's a full go, ready to off the injury report, no issues, then I think Thornton has the biggest upside of these two guys this week. Potential for blow up there. And that's a good segue in case you missed it. You're coming in late. One last rip through. I might reorder these knowing that Jaydon Blue's inactive, but 5 waiver wire stashes, guys, that you need to add before week 1. Chris Rodriguez. I'm not going to give the whole spiel again on all these guys. Big bruising back, an offense that's projected to be top 5 in scoring. He's already been labeled by Dan Quinn as the goal line back. Lost 20 pounds this offseason, worked with the receiving coach, reaching 20-plus miles per hour every day in practice, including the preseason game as well. Averaged like 9 yards per carry this preseason. Love Chris Rodriguez, 7% rostered. And one of the strategies I want to really emphasize, keep filling that mailbag too. Happy to get back to the questions. If your league lets you rotate through your bench, drop your kicker. Pick up these guys because Sunday night you got Tyler Loop, the Ravens kicker, that nobody owns right now. Monday night you got Cairo Santos and Will Reichard for the Vikings and the Bears. 2 great offenses. Kickers I'd be happy to have. Now, some leagues I don't ESPN. They don't typically let you roster churn like this. But I know in Yahoo you can. So I don't have a kicker on like any of my Yahoo teams. It's a great way to see 1 o'clock. We're going to learn so much, especially in week 1, where we don't know what's going to happen. Is Chris Rodriguez going to start and get like 20 carries? Probably not, but I want him on my team in case that happens. Is number 4, Isaac TeSlaa, is he going to catch a 70-yard bomb and play 80% of the routes? Probably not, but I want him on my team if he does. It's Athletic Freak to go through the list again. 4'4", at 214 pounds, insane vertical leaping ability, 10 catches, 154 in the preseason, and 3 touchdowns to add to that. Earned his way to the fact they traded Tim Patrick away for Isaac TeSlaa. So, yeah, I'm all in on this guy. Dante Thornton, 4.3 speed, at 6'5". Only 2 other guys, Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf, have similar size speed profiles. This guy is a complete athletic freak, 25 yards per catch in college, 3.72 yards per run, both top 3, number 1 in terms of yards per catch there. Love me some Dante Thornton for sure. Ollie Gordon, my number 2 ad, maybe my number 1 ad, given that Jaydon Blue is a healthy scratch, but I love Ollie Gordon. He had 29 touches, 170 yards on the preseason compared to 19 yards on 12 touches for Jalen Wright, averaging less than 2 yards per touch. And now as that brutal injury for his leg, so he's banged up. And then Jaydon Blue, I know he's a healthy scratch tonight. Doesn't worry me. Love the speedster. 4.25 speed on his pro day. Freakish receiving prospect at the running back position. Only competing with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders for 92% of the vacated carries there in the Cowboys backfield. I think we're going to see week 1, this running game do absolutely nothing. And then Jaydon Blue will be a priority moving forward. They might just be giving him 1 more week to truly heal himself up. Those are my 5 ads. And I'll just toss out that Christian Kirk potentially being out. Jalen Noel belongs on that list of tryouts as well. We have a few more. Thanks, bro, for asking my question. You're the GOAT. Thank you, Mohammed, for being here and asking some great questions. Thornton was my last pick in my big league. No one knew who he was. Hopefully I know his name by the end of the year. Well, Tunes, I remember a couple years ago you said this to me. It was Puka Nacua was the last pick of your leagues, and everyone was like, what, Puka? And we saw how that ended. So you got an eye for those late round guys. I'll trust in Tunes. I think Thornton is absolutely going to be a guy. Wolfpack, that wraps up the mailbag. Awesome first stream, hitting that hour-long mark. We'd love to have more of you here in the future, but thank you so much for your help. On your way out, a thumbs up button, a heart, a share, a retweet to keep growing the channel. Subscribe if you're new here. I saw a lot of new names this year. Hit that sub button. I'll be live next on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. bright and early. Cannot wait to get there. So come on down. Would love to have you. Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Let's get all those hit starts and hope you get all the points you need tonight. Let's go, Wolfpack. Cheers, week 1. We're here, baby. Let's do it. In a world full of fisted sheep, be the wolf. Later, guys.